A total surprise. How many people have graphed points on planes before? Put things on planes? Nice. So, Jacob, what can you tell me about this point right there? What could you tell me about that point? Tell me one thing about it.
It's in the first quadrant.
First quadrant. Nice. What's one other thing someone else can tell me about it? It's in the first quadrant. What else? What else can you tell me about that? Well, points aren't positive. Points themselves aren't positive. What? The coordinates are positive. They're both positive. That's correct. What else? What can you tell me? What does 3 represent?
X-axis.
The x-coordinate. The x-coordinate is what type of position?
On the x-axis.
Horizontal position, right. Horizontal position. Everybody, just try to not drop your pens as often as you just did. 2, what does that represent?
Y.
The y, any more than that. It does not represent the y-axis. The y-coordinate, exactly. That's the y-coordinate, and that, what's another way of saying the y-coordinate? Yeah, it is the vertical position, exactly. So, Kelly, what else can you tell me about 4, -1?
It's in the...
Yeah, what is it in?
Fourth quadrant.
Yeah, it's in the 4th quadrant, good. So what does that look like? Well, we're going to be plotting points on this thing. We have the origin at the center, the x-axis, the y-axis, and then inside there, we can label things as the first quadrant, the second quadrant, the third quadrant, or the 4th quadrant. Where is the origin? Is it in the quadrant?
No.
No. What is it on?
It's on the intersection of the X and Y.
It is on the x-axis and it's on the y-axis. Usually when you get these questions asked of you, it's something like, here's a point. Is it, what quadrant is it in, or what axis is it on? So, we're going to be plotting points. We're going to be plotting points that satisfy given relations. In a specific type of relation, we're going to be looking at functions. This is a function with 2 variables. But first, we're going to need to talk about how do we look at specific points that exist within this definition. 2x plus 3y equals 6. 2x plus 3y equals 6. So we're going to find ordered pairs. Why are they called ordered pairs and not just pairs?
Is there an order how you plot them?
So
Or how you,
can
like, you would
could
go
I,
to
is 3, 2 the same as 2, 3? The order matters, exactly. They're in a specific order. It's called ordered pairs because order matters. There are certain instances where order doesn't matter. If you have 2 identical socks, does it matter, generally speaking, which one you put on which foot?
No.
Generally speaking, socks don't have a footedness, right? Orders, coordinates, do they? Yes. There's the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate. What's the only case where it doesn't matter which one you put first or second?
They're the same.
They're the same. Yeah, if they're the same, exactly. So let's look at this. It says you have this relationship, 2x plus 3y equals 6. If x equals 0, without doing any math written down, if x equals 0, what does y equal, Rourke? If x equals 0 on this, what does y equal?
2, sorry.
2. Dev, Rourke. Dev, Rourke. Now, Dev, if y equals 3, what does x equal?
3.
Okay, I didn't mean to invert your names. I was trying to clarify that. Oh, you were just going,
Yeah.
I see. She poached your answer. She didn't poach her answer. I get it. That's good. All right, we're going to turn it into a competition. You're also getting, we're getting the intense eyes from the back now. We got to be careful. 3. Those points are 2 specific points. Does anybody know what those points are called? If this is the graph, if we graph that, what are these 2 points called? These 2. They're intercepts. Exactly. These are intercepts. How many other points exist that satisfy this equation right there? How many other points are there that can work? How many are there? Infinite number. You can pick any x value and then find the y value. You can pick any y value and find the corresponding x value. We chose 0. Why is 0 a nice value to work with?
It's easy.
Why is it? It's easy to do what with? To plug in and plot, right? It's multiplication with 0 is really nice. It doesn't matter what the rest is; it's all gone.
Yeah.
So intercepts are really nice because they're usually really easy to find. Let's say we changed it a little bit and said x is -3 or y is -4. Do this on your own, everybody. Find me the y value when x is -3 and find me the x value when y is -4. Do that by yourself. Don't say it out. Who has an answer to C? Raise your hand. Who has an answer to C? Alyssa.
Y equals 4.
4. Who has 4 for that one? Hey, look at all your friends. What about D? Katie.
X or Y equals 9.
It's X this time.
Oh, yeah.
X equals 9. Yeah, who got 9? You're also popular. Good job. Nice. So if I graph a line, so if I have 4 points now, these 4 points right here. If I graph them, what does the graph of a line represent? It represents the set of points corresponding to all the ordered pairs that satisfy the equation. How many points are on any given line? How many? An infinite number. Actually, how many points are on any segment? An infinite number. Real numbers are said to be dense because if you have any two real numbers that are not equal, what can you always find between them? Another number. Basically, how far can you zoom in on the real number line? You can zoom in as far as you want. So the line, the graph, represents the visual picture of all of the solutions, And we're first going to be looking at lines in this form right here, standard form. AX plus BY equals C. This is standard form. Are there other forms for how to write a line? Yeah. The one we're looking at right now is called standard form. A, B, and C are real numbers, and A and B are both not 0. Can one or the other be 0? Yes. One or the other can be 0, but not both of them. Could C be 0? Yes. Yes, it can. So, how are we going to graph lines? How many points if you have 2 points, how many different lines can go through just 2 points? 1. Is it possible to draw more than one line through 2 points? No. So how many points do you need at a minimum to draw a line? 2. So if you find 2 points and connect them, did you draw the line? Yeah. So one way to draw a line is to plot 2 points. What are those 2 points that are sometimes easiest to find?
The 2 intercepts.
The 2 intercepts. So a really common way to graph a function is to find the 2 intercepts like this. And what do you do with those 2 intercepts? Connect them. In this case, the y-intercept is 0b, and the x-intercept is a0. You connect them. So I would like you to use that method, and please intercept. So the x-intercept is when what is 0? When y is 0. So when y is 0, you end up with negative 4x minus 0 equals negative 3. So negative 4x equals negative 3. So what does x equal? 3/4. So we just found the x-intercept. And what is the y-intercept? The y-intercept is when what is true? When?
Isn't it negative?
Yeah, it's just regular.
Yeah, it's just 4x.
It's just 4x. Oh, I put a negative there. I see what you're saying. So it should be negative. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why I put that there. Yep. So the y-intercept is when what is true?
When x is 0.
When x is 0. So when you put x is 0, you get negative y is equal to negative 3. So what does y equal? 3. So what do you do once you have those 2 points? You plot them. 0, negative 3/4. Let's say that that's right there. And, oh, sorry, negative 3/4, 0. I plotted that backwards, didn't I? So negative 3/4, 0 will be, let's say that that's right there. And 0, 3. What do you do with those 2 points? Draw a line. And one thing I don't know if you know, if you go into the menu here and you go to draw, you can draw lines with this thing. Oh, I think I just clicked on the wrong one. There's also segments. There's lines. You can actually do a line drawing tool. It's kind of cool. So there it is. Does that have a positive slope or a negative slope? Oh yeah, we'll get to that. Nice. Okay. So hands up, everybody. Pause for a sec. Let's pause. Hands up. Hands up. Woo! There's no trick to this. Just find me the midpoint. 5, yeah. Because it's going to be 4 plus 6 over 2, comma, negative 3 plus negative 1 over 2. What's that going to be? 10 over 2 and negative 4 over 2. So how many people got 5, negative 2? Woohoo! We are in sync today. Nice. And we aren't just in the 90s. Okay. Oh, come on, not even a chuckle. Man, not even a chuckle. Okay, so how do we think midpoints were pretty good? We think we can do that? Nate thought it was pretty funny, so that's good. What about slope? How many people have seen the word slope before? Slope is a measurement of what? One way to say is rise over run. It's a measurement of rate of change. For every unit you go horizontal, how many units do you go up or down? When you measure slope, do you look at it from left to right or right to left? Left to right. You look at it from left to right. This way. So you see things like this. You see the slope of stairs. You see the slope of roads. What's the slope of the floor?
0.
It better be 0 or we'll be kind of off kilter. Older houses, you get non-slope of 0. If it's rising from left to right, the slope is what? If it's falling? Negative. Right, you have some concept of this. This is good. So how many different ways can you say it? Well, this is how many different ways you commonly can say it. Right here. The slope m, and m is the most common letter used to describe or notarize slope. Rise over run, change in y over change in x. What does that little triangle mean right here? Anybody know? It means change, but what's the way to say it? It does mean change. Delta, yeah. It's a universal for change. y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Why can't x1 be equal to x2? If they were equal, what would this be? There would be no slope. It would be undefined. What kind of line has an undefined slope? All lines are straight.
Vertical.
Vertical line. Exactly. I know what you're saying. Vertical line. So vertical lines have no slope. You say the slope is undefined. If you know the slope is undefined, it has to be a vertical line. So, for example, and I just totally overwrote that one. Let's say I gave you this. Let's say I gave you a 0.29 and another point n called -3, 7. What's the slope between those 2 points? Find me the slope between those 2 points. 2 over 5. Who agrees with that? You got some friends there. Good job. Nice. Nice. So let's change this just a little bit. Let's say instead of me giving you 2 points, I gave you an equation and said, what's the slope of this line right here? What's the slope there? You've been finding the slope by finding 2 points. So if I gave you an equation, could you find 2 points? Yeah. What 2 points are the easiest ones you like to go for? Y-intercept and the X-intercepts. So find me the slope using the intercepts. Find me the slope using the intercepts.
Y first.
No, you found the what first?
Oh,
Y is not a thing.
The Y-intercept.
The Y-intercept. Okay. So you found the Y-intercept. The Y-intercept is when what is true?
When x equals 0.
X equals 0. So when x is equal to 0 here, what does y equal?
8.
8. And what's the X-intercept? The X-intercept is when y is 0. -2. Yeah. So now you have 2 points.
Where did you get 8 and -2?
Okay. -4x minus y is equal to -8. The y-intercept is when x is equal to 0. So we said -4
so
equal
you
to
just
0.
did the first thing we were doing.
Uh-huh.
Okay, okay.
So how many points do we have now? 2. We have 2 points. So the slope is going to be 8 minus 0 over 0 minus -2, which is 8 over 2, which is what? 4. So one way to find the slope of a line, find 2 points that are on the line and find the slope between those 2 points. The rise over the run. So we found 2 points. What were the 2 points that we found? What were they called? Why did we like to find those? They're easiest to find because you plug in zeros. You plug in zeros. You don't understand? Yep. And what's this one right here? Vertical. Exactly. So if you have a equation that's of the form y equals b, that's a horizontal line and it has a y-intercept of 0b. If you have a y equals 2.
Where's the b? What's the b?
B could be any y value. So for example, let's say I had y equals 7. That's a horizontal line at y equals 7. B could, when they say b, they mean any value. Any value.
Another value, so how do you know?
Because y equaling any number will always be a horizontal line.
No, yeah, I understand.
That's all you need then.
Okay.
That's all you need. Stop there. x equals any number, what type of line is that?
Right.
That's all you need. So if I have the line y equals b, where b is any number you want it to be, it would look like this. It would be a horizontal line like that. Where would it cross the y-axis? 0b, exactly. It would cross at 0b. So if b was 2, it would be 2 right there. The only thing that changes, what happens if I had x equals a? What type of line is that? Vertical line. And where would it cross the x-axis? Exactly. It crosses at a, right there. So what happens if two lines have the same slope? What do you call those? Two lines have the same slope. Parallel, exactly. So one thing we can do when we find slopes of lines is decide if they are parallel or not. So how do we prove if something is parallel? You find the slopes of the two lines, and if they're the same, you can say they are parallel. Exactly. So sometimes you're going to want to actually draw a picture first. So let's say I gave you that right there to the y-axis. 0, -4. Is that the x-axis or the y-axis? Is it on the x-axis or the y-axis, that point? The y-axis. That point right there is 0, -4. If I wanted to find a second point, I go up how much and over how much? Up 2. So up 2 and over how much? 1, 2, 3. Up 2 over 3. And what do I do with those 2 points? Connect them. So there's your line right there. We knew 0, -4 because it told us it, and it said the slope of the line is 2/3. So then what did we do from the known point? We went up 2 and over 3. That's it. So of a over b, Jacob, what's the reciprocal of a over b? What's the opposite of that? Yeah. So if one slope is 1/2, what's the opposite reciprocal of 1/2? Yeah. The easy way to remember that, what happens if you multiply these two things? Because, why is it -2?
Why is it negative?
Because it's opposite reciprocal.
Of 1 over 2.
Yes, so 1 over 2 is positive, so
I thought you said reciprocal.
opposite reciprocal, both of those things. So if I take these two things, what happens if I multiply them together? What does the top become? Negative what?
Negative AB.
What does the bottom become?
AB.
AB. What does that simplify to? -1. If you multiply two numbers together and you get -1, they have to be opposite reciprocals of one another. So an easy way to remember perpendicular, two lines are perpendicular if their slopes multiply together to get -1. So if one line has a slope of 3/7, what's the perpendicular slope? -7/3. Exactly. So what happens if I gave you this one right here and said, are they perpendicular? Who got 3 over 2 for the first one? Nice.
Can you please show us how to do that?
Absolutely. So what do you have to find the slope?
Y.
The y what?
Intercept.
So yeah, so you have to find the y-intercept and you have to find the x-intercept. So the x-intercept is when y is 0. When y is 0, you have 0 equals 3x minus 6. What does x equal to make this true, Nate? What does x equal to make this true? What value do you plug in for x to make 3x minus 6 equal to 0?
0.
No. What do you add to both sides, Nate?
6.
6 equals 3x, so x is equal to?
2.
Yep. That's your x-intercept. Now we need to find the what?
Y.
No, we have to find the... You have to say intercept. It's not the same thing.
You can also do both sides by 2.
There's a lot of different things you can do, yes. So if I wanted the y-intercept, the y-intercept is when x is equal to 0. So that's when 2y is equal to -6. So what does y equal to? Oh, is equal to what? Negative what? -3. So you have 2 points right there. You have 2, 0, and what's the other point? Did I do something wrong?
No, I was like...
Hold on, let me finish this then. How many points do I have?
2.
2 points. So to find the slope, It's going to be 0 minus negative 3 over 2 minus 0. 0 minus negative 3, 2 minus 0. What's 0 minus negative 3? If you do this out, I'm going to show you something else. If I wanted to isolate y, I subtracted 2x from both sides. Everybody, hands up. I subtracted 2x from both sides. What should I divide by both sides by? Get y is equal to negative 2 over negative 5x minus 8 over 5. On this side, you get 5y equals negative 2x plus 8. So y is equal to negative 2/5 x plus 8 over 5. I just isolated y. Why did I do that? Some of you might know that. Why did I do that, Rachel? Yeah, so what we're gonna get to is right here. This is actually the slope of the line, and this is the slope of the other line. One of them, what's negative 2 over negative 5? And then you have negative 2/5. Are these parallel? No. Are they perpendicular? No. So what are they? Neither. Oh.